Hi there, and welcome to the New Jersey Wedding Podcast, the place to go if you're planning your wedding in New Jersey, whether you're here in New Jersey or maybe you're elsewhere. We're getting a lot of hits on our preferred list page from people all over the country and a couple from all over the world, which is kind of cool. My name is Celia Milton. I'm a celebrant in North New Jersey with a couple of people that I tag along with me, and my partner and colleague, Andrea, who covers the central part of New Jersey. Where do we cut that off? Is it like exit 102? There's like some place that we split the state in half that you
Yeah,
do below and
yeah.
I
I
do.
gotta look up the exit. I was wondering that, what exit that is, because that's such a Jersey thing. What exit?
I know people really do talk like that here. But happy Halloween, everybody. We thought
Yeah,
that this was it was the perfect time to talk about theme weddings.
yeah.
You may not want to go crazy, like crazy, but there's a lot of ways that you can incorporate a personal theme, a personal preference, something that you guys love to do into your wedding to the extent that you want to. You don't have to have everybody dressing up as Vikings, but there's a lot of ways to do that. And Andrea, I'm going to defer to you because you are the theme wedding queen
I
for the
don't know
last
why I
month.
get so many themed weddings, but I do, and I love them.
Oh, you've
Um,
had a couple of great ones
and
too.
and I've had a couple actually. Halloween, which is today when this airs. I have two that are very small, intimate this year. That one will be they're more of an elopement, but one's a full-on Halloween themed one, and the
That is
other one
great.
is just giving a nod to being Halloween. I found a beautiful reading to incorporate into their ceremony. But yes, I have had quite a few lately. And, when you have a themed wedding, they could be all completely that everything is that theme, or like I said, you can just give a nod to it. So I
Yeah.
had one over at Bishop Farmstead, which is a great venue,
Oh,
and
it's so beautiful.
actually they're part of Jam Catering. They're going to be on
Yeah.
in about a week. I can't wait to speak to them. But that wedding was a Renaissance themed one,
Oh,
and
cool.
everybody came dressed in costume,
Oh my gosh,
not
that's so
just the
fun.
bride and groom and their wedding party. Every guest. It was so much fun. Maybe I'll put some photos of this on the
Oh, yeah.
Instagram so you can see it. It was so much fun. But here's something interesting. They did have a hand fasting in that ceremony, but everything else
Mm.
was pretty kind of traditional. We had some beautiful readings and stuff, but I didn't speak in old English or anything like that. Their ceremony was still quite beautiful, is what I was, trying to say. And then I had one over at Shadowbrook in Shrewsbury. It was an
Oh my
extremely
God. It was
elegant,
so gorgeous.
high-end, beautiful ceremony. Again, I'll throw up some pictures of that. But they didn't carry the theme into their wedding decor or anything like that, or the way they dressed or anything like that. Their theme was it was gaming, Nintendo 64, Legend of Zelda, Earthbound, and I sprinkled references to those games in their ceremony. Like Legend of Zelda has something called the Triforce, which is courage, wisdom, and I forget the other one. And I talked about how you need to incorporate those into your marriage, and it was quite fun, but that gave a nod to it. And I know that I've done Harry Potter themed ones
Yeah,
before.
me too. Me too.
Yep, and we both do the Disney. And again,
Oh,
everything can be all Disney. I have a great ceremony where I've used as many Disney quotes. That was fun to put together. It took a long time. Because I did it many years ago, and to put that together. But
it's
that's
so
that's
fun
fun.
though. It
Yeah.
is fun. But I think, we talked about your Shadowbrook wedding, and I think what was so interesting is like when I looked at the pictures that you posted on Instagram were so elegant and gorgeous and fabulous. It's like it never even occurred to me that that was a theme wedding in any way.
Yeah.
And it was so it's so interesting. I mean, I had a wedding actually this weekend that the two people, they're like serious gamers. And I actually worked with Bob from Fantasy DJs, who we absolutely love.
Yeah,
He's been
he's
on the
been on.
podcast. Oh my
Yeah.
God, he's great. I love him. And so we were talking beforehand. He's like, they're not doing a first dance. They're like very laid back. I absolutely love them. Says they're not doing a first dance. They're doing a first gameplay. It's like they had a big screen set up and they were going to play like a video game that has something to do with their I didn't really get into that a lot in their ceremony, but that was what they were going to do instead of a first dance. It's like, oh my God, that's like the coolest thing ever. Oh my God.
And
No, I know.
we also talked about that is very
I
cool, very
know.
different.
They were so
Um,
cool.
there was that show Vikings that was on for a while, and I've had a couple of Viking inspired ceremonies, but more than that, we talk about the Game of Thrones, which
Oh
is
yeah.
always so funny because it does have some beautiful wording, and I
Oh
know
my
that you've
God.
had that a lot, but
Yes.
that Red Wedding's nothing to like emulate,
You know what? It's funny though, because I have a quote from Game of Thrones, and you will be the moon to his sun, he will be the
How
stars to your
beautiful.
sky. That's not probably it. I mean, it's gorgeous and it's so beautiful and lyrical. And then at the end, I get to like pause and say, and that was from the Game of Thrones. And everybody goes nuts in the audience because as like, nobody gets killed or anything. I mean, it's great. But
Yeah.
that's been like one of my most popular opening readings for about 5 years.
Yeah.
I've never watched it. I've never read it, but I did have somebody. I was at, I can't remember where I was, but one of the guests came up to me afterwards and she's like, next time I have lunch with George, I'm going to tell him you're using his reading. He's going to love that. I'm like, and like the blood drained from my head. It's like, what? It's like they went to Bayonne High School together where George R. R. Martin went, and they have lunch every
Very
month. It's like,
cool.
oh my God, please tell him that I'm using, like, I'm giving him full accreditation. It's like, I'm
I
like,
love it.
so
Yes.
it's
Oh, that
great.
is really cool. That is
Oh,
it.
it's
That
very
is
cool.
very cool. I I did a Halloween ceremony once where everybody was dressed in costume, and I came as a witch because that was easy. I wore,
Yeah, because you
easy
do that
like the
every
black
day.
robe and that hat, and they loved it. We started. It was fun. It
That's
was right.
hilarious.
It was on Halloween. It must have fallen on a weekend that year, and it was.
Mm.
I opened with like dearly beloved and distinguished guest, the damned and the cursed, the holy and the blessed.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I was lucky enough to have a sister who used to be into really, heavy metal music back in the day. And she was like, she got into it. She had quotes from a band called Pantera, and of course, what was it, Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's great. It's a lot of fun. And then we did a hand fasting, but they had gotten from a Halloween store. It looked like a chain, but it's really made of plastic, and that's what we used for their hand
Oh
fasting.
my God, that's so funny.
It was fun. And
I
yeah.
think when people have fun with this, it's funny. I have a line in my ceremonies that says something about, it's like all of these people look out there. You've got all these people who love you. You've got Ben Franklin, you've got Scooby-Doo, you've got, it's like all these because all these people are dressed up in costumes. It's like it was hilarious. And I think that like sometimes I think like a little theme can go a long way. I
Yeah.
did I think it was I did a Game of Thrones wedding at Perona and it was so classy and beautiful. They had, the tables were all named after things from Game of Thrones, and they had these beautiful sugar cookies with the fondant icing that were like iced for theme things. I mean, it wasn't, I think people who want to do a theme thing, sometimes they'd like to incorporate things that are important to them, like their hobbies, their milestones, the places that, if they always go to the Jersey Shore every summer, and now, it doesn't have to be kitschy. It can be very subtle and sophisticated depending on the way you incorporate it.
Exactly. I've done ones, if you want to call them themed or just personalized with a certain theme because of the couple who met in college and they were really into uh the college colors and the football team and all of that.
Mm.
And you make references to that, or obviously maybe the beach where they first met. and where he
Yeah.
proposed, and now we're on that same beach getting married, and we're going to talk about that. Just like you, I've had couples that have shared hobbies. I had, there's motorcycle riders. There's a great reading about called "Come Ride with Me"
Oh, I
that
love
I
that.
like to incorporate into that, with the if you share that. Or there's so many things. We met at a concert. We both love this type of music, and I'm sure that you've done the ones where the couple has had the backyard wedding in the house they just bought together. And
Yeah.
so you can talk about how the house, the home, you can always intertwine these beautiful, subtle personalizations
Mhm.
into the ceremony to make it, and still keep it a traditional ceremony, but make it more about them, you know?
Yeah. I did a Star Wars. Oh, this is
Oh, the
funny
Star Wars is
because
fun, right?
I'm like so not like a star. It's not like I'm antagonistic about it. I just never got into it. But I um I booked this couple. They were at the Tides, actually. We've had Michael on. He's great. Um they were having, not like, I wouldn't say a theme wedding. They had a photo booth that had Star Wars props for people to take. Oh God, they were like they were crazy with that. Like people loved that. But they called me to, talk about booking, and they said, well, when we were finalizing the details, said we're going to have a stormtrooper come and walk you up the aisle. I'm like, I don't know from this. I think it's a guy in like camouflage. Like I'm thinking like Army, Navy, something like that. And
The white.
I don't know anything. It's like I get there and there's a guy in like a Tupperware white suit with like no, he had no eyes. They're like, you're gonna have to walk him up the aisle because he has no eye holes. It's like that's like really bad planning, isn't it? Oh my God. So I've got this like giant plastic guy walking me up the
That's so
aisle.
funny.
And, oh, it's hilarious. But it was really, they did it so beautifully. Like they had the Death Star. I guess that's the big round gray thing. They had all their vases were the Death Star, and they had the themed photo booth. And I'm sure we made some references in the script to like maybe the force be with you or something. I don't
Right.
know. But
So, because we do the ceremony and we can make the theme in the ceremony, and then it's fun to see what they've incorporated,
it really is.
continuing the theme into
It really
the
is.
reception, whether they've made signature drinks named after
Yeah.
their theme,
Yeah. Yeah.
or like you said, the photo booth with the props that
It was
represent their
hilarious.
theme,
It
and
was hilarious.
maybe even the centerpieces, or the table numbers, all of that, um just
It's just
carry
so
the
fun.
theme on. That's kind of fun. That's funny, and whether you're doing a whole entire theme of it or just doing a nod or a
Yeah.
personalization, you're making the wedding memorable and a true reflection of yourselves, of the
Right.
couple. It's fun.
Right. It's true. I did a wedding, one of my favorite weddings. Oh, I can't even say my favorite weddings ever because I have like so many that like I absolutely love. But this couple, they're both they're both astrophysicists, and they met at the CERN Collider in Switzerland. I hope it's in Switzerland because I'm gonna have to fix it. We'll have to edit it. They met there, and their theme was the periodic table, which
Very
I think is
cool.
pretty hilarious. And
Yeah.
all their tables their centerpieces were models of atoms from the periodic table. Like they had H2O, had like H2O in three-dimensional. And the thing is, like, their guests knew. It's like, oh, we're at the plutonium table. Well, that's over there. It's like it was it was hilarious. And I just like I love them because it was like, and we, I there's plenty of readings about, you know,
I would have been lost after the H2O. That's probably the only one I
I know
know.
that's probably the end too. And it's like I love the periodic table, but once I get past the first row, I don't know what's going on. But it was so fun, and their guests had a ball, and we incorporated some kind of like scientific readings. There's like more scientific readings for weddings than anybody could ever guess, and
Oh,
we had such a good time with it. But it was great, and it was perfect because their parents are both scientists, and they are, and a lot of their friends are, because a lot of their friends were over there at the CERN Collider with them. It was just like the best thing ever. It's
Yeah.
really fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. And
I
then,
love it. I
you can,
love it.
I do too. I mean, you can be video gamers, maybe you're kayakers,
Mhm.
maybe you're runners, all that. And, you mentioned colleges. I did a wedding. I didn't even know that this was a Scranton themed wedding until I got there and everything was purple and white. Thank God that those are the purple and white. That's like great colors, right? For like a
Yeah.
wedding. I mean, if they had all gone to
That's
William Patterson, I love William Patterson, but their colors are black and orange, so that really wouldn't work that well for a wedding. But they like had the big banner from the college. They were going to sing the song together. It was like just how great is that? It's like so fun. It's like a
yeah.
mini reunion.
I love it. It makes it so fun to write the ceremony, and
Oh, it really does.
yeah,
It really
yeah, and you
does.
can tell the people are the couple are really enjoying it. You know, they're holding hands, looking at each other while you're
Oh
talking
yeah.
or saying, and it brings a smile to their face. So,
Well,
you know,
and I think part of that too, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no,
Part of
that's okay.
that is that, people who are getting married very often have a lot of members of their community coming, whether it's their college community, maybe it's, if they work in a specific, like an artistic place or like a specific, like a fundraising place, or they've got things that are common threads that connect them to the people who are obviously your family. There's that, but it's really fun. I did two runners that had most of their friends were all in their same running club. So there's when you think about the people that you're inviting to your wedding, it's pretty easy for most people to find a common thread that's going to connect them in a way besides we're just friends.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
really interesting.
I had the pleasure to do a wedding at Alair Chapel, and if you know Alair State Park, they have
Oh,
these
I love it.
great, yeah, and they have these great bike riding trails
Yeah.
through there. And this couple picked that location because they met riding bikes there, and that's
Oh,
what
that's great.
they bonded over and continued to do. And so um, there's a little bike riding theme to it. You can always find some readings or work in some wording into it because it was also,
I love
it's in
it.
a chapel. It was quite beautiful and fun. So location, so you can have your venue match your theme if you want. There's some
Yeah.
boutique movie theaters. I know there's one in Asbury Park that they do rent out for events because they're kind of cool looking on the inside. There's museums, there's the aquarium. You can go all out and rent a venue that represents your theme. But as
Yeah.
we talk to more venue owners and managers, they talk about couples coming in and adding their theme to and they're all open to it. They're like, yeah,
Because it's interesting. I have a couple that I actually just spoke to them yesterday. They're both heavily active in community theater, and they are doing their wedding in on stage. And actually it's the third wedding I've done like this. They're getting married on stage at the community theater where they volunteer. And we're gonna, I'm sure we're gonna incorporate. We haven't started writing yet, but we're gonna probably have some quotes from Stephen Sondheim and things like that. And it's just like, how perfect is this? Because their friends, many of their friends are active in the same theater. That's why they're friends. And it's just, when you get to like you start to expand your thinking about where you're going to be and what you're going to do, then all kinds of different things open up. It's so fun.
Right, right. So theme ceremonies can be a lot of
Love it.
fun, and you can make it a full-on theme, or you can just do a nod to it.
A little
I know
bit.
that
Yeah.
later today on Halloween, I will be starting this one ceremony with this great an enchanted love. This reading, it's on this haunted night of magic and charm, two souls unite hand in hand, arm in arm. Beneath the moon's pale, eerie glow, love blooms eternal as winds gently blow. Ghosts and
Ooh,
goblins may roam the streets, but here two hearts in rhythm beat. So, but it goes on. It's fun. It's fun for
I love it.
everyone,
Yeah,
And
I
again,
think it was
then you
fun.
can also personalize your ceremony, not in a theme at all, but just personalize it with maybe always be sure to talk to your officiant about certain things that you might be doing in your ceremony or mean a lot to you. If you're getting married on the anniversary of the day that you met, if the ring that you will be getting or
Mm.
is a family heirloom.
Yeah, it's so true. And there's so, we've talked about this before. There's so many little parts to the wedding that can be personalized instead of just like default. I mean, talk about music. I mean, God, there's so much great movie music from all kind that people. I've had a number of couples walk up to the theme from Jurassic Park. It
Right,
doesn't
right.
sound like
That's
the
always
most
a fun
romantic.
one. Yeah.
It doesn't sound like the most romantic thing in the world, but it's kind of like neat. I think one of the couples they did, oh my God, it had like little tiny dinosaurs all over their cake. I can't remember why Jurassic Park was so important to them, but it was like so fun. It's like,
Right.
wow, this is like a really neat thing. Yeah.
Right. I bet you had the Star Wars music.
Oh
And
my
what's
God.
the May 4th? We've done that. May the 4th be
May
with
the
you.
fourth be
So
with
May
you.
4th is
Yes.
like Star Wars Day, and
Yes,
I've done
absolutely.
those too. And there's that Star Wars music that we all know. And then and when of course when they get their lightsabers and the couple walk
Oh, it's
exit
hilarious.
recess down the
I
aisle
know.
and everybody's holding the
It's like a
lightsabers.
military
Cute.
arch. I love it. I know.
And that
Oh, man.
reminded me because I've done some Navy ceremonies. I've done
Yeah. Yeah, me
two
too.
of them, and they do that. They'll have them with the swords. And the funny thing is then when the bride, when they go through it, say maybe they have like um, four guys with the swords, up, and they go
Hmm.
through it. And the last one, when the bride goes through, they tap her on the butt with the sword, on the back of her dress with that, and that's her way of saying welcome.
Welcome to the
If
family.
she's the
Yeah.
one, yeah, you're now part of the Navy too, your family too. So
Yeah.
those are
There's so
fun,
many
and we
fun
all
things.
have wording for that about.
Yeah. I think it's just interesting. It's like, the more people think about this is not just like, let's just get through the ceremony to get to the reception. It's like, what drew you together? And we seem to have lately had a lot of people who got interested in each other because their mutual fascination with gaming and
Yeah,
Nintendo. And, you know, wow, like why not? If that's what got you together.
yeah,
I did a couple a few years ago that met this is hilarious. They met in an online poker site and he didn't know that she was a woman. It's like her nickname there was just like initials or something, and they started to talk outside the online gaming thing. And he lived in like I don't know, like California, and she lived in New Jersey. And based on their mutual fun gaming online together, they met and they
great.
became long distance for a couple of years, and then he moved here, and I hope they're still gaming. I hope they're like winning, but they won in the love department, that's for sure. But it was like so fun, and they did packs of cards for everybody's favors with like a little band around it with a message, and there were all kinds of like fun, gaming kind of things, going on during the wed. They had I there was one of the things they had for an hors d'oeuvre. I don't know why I remember this. I can't remember yesterday, but I remember this. They had like black poker chips made out of pizza dough with stuff on top, like bruschetta, but they were like clearly poker chips. It was like so cute. It's like, oh, you guys are like so cute. It's like, but
I,
it was so fun. Yeah.
One of my most significant themed ceremonies was a couple who got married at White Castle, and they had rented out this
Oh, I
White
love it.
Castle, the hamburger joint. They
I
rented this
love
one
it.
out because it was a favorite place of theirs to go. So of course there was references to the iconic White Castle. It was inside the White Castle. We stood up by the like where you order your food to do the
Oh my
ceremony,
God, I love it.
and they served White Castle for their food and stuff. And I've got this great picture of everyone standing outside of the White Castle and they all got face masks of a hamburger, and they're all standing there with
Oh
the
my God,
face
that's
masks
so
on, and
funny.
it was fun is the local newspaper was there, And about a couple of weeks after the newspaper article came out, I was doing another wedding, and a couple there looked at me, and then finally the lady said to me, she goes, "Did you do a White Castle wedding?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, it's the White Castle officiant. We read about that in my
Oh my
face."
gosh,
I
that's
thought
so
I was like
funny.
a celeb. That was my 15 minutes of fame. But that was a lot of fun, you know.
That
I
is
mean, talk
hilarious.
about full on theme.
I had a call for somebody that wanted to do their wedding at a Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh,
And it was just like it was before I knew you, or you would have done that wedding, but it was like way down South Jersey. It's like I can't go there to do this, but it ended up getting so much publicity. And
yeah.
it's like, why did I give that wedding away?
Right, right. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I hadn't thought in advance that a newspaper would be there, you know. I got there and I thought,
Oh
"Oh,
God.
this is
Well,
great."
well, that's I think that's it. That's kind of fun. I'm trying to think of like the kind of weirdest theme. I don't have any really, really weird theme weddings, I have to
Yeah,
say. Because it's and the thing too that we talked about at the very beginning is like you don't have to be like it doesn't have to be crazy. You can just, we're like dog lovers where I actually have somebody coming up. They have trained seeing eye dogs. And they did that separately before they met. And when they met, they found out that they both did this thing, which is, I think, really insanely cool. So they had like a way dog themed wedding because obviously everybody knows that, this is what they do, this is their thing. And, I love it because it's, it's one more way of expressing to that group of people that have gathered to celebrate you, like what you're really about. And maybe they don't know, and it's not like a bad thing to say, but maybe they know your parents, they knew you when you were 5 years old, but now you're in grad school and you're not five anymore, and you get to bring them up to speed on what's important to you, you know?
right, right.
Yeah, it's like so
Yeah,
fun.
very well said. Yes.
Mm.
So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And we want to hear from you. Did you have a themed
Yeah,
wedding?
tell
Did you
us. Tell
attend
us.
a themed wedding? We want to hear all about it. You can always contact us through messaging through our social
Mhm.
media, Instagram, Facebook. It's all New Jersey Wedding Podcast, or our website, New Jersey Wedding Podcast. It has a contact form on it or email link on it. So you can get in touch with us and let us know if you had or attended a themed wedding and what was fun about it. What did you like about it? And we never share your contact information, just your stories. And thanks
Just your
for
story.
joining us. Yeah, be sure to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. We have a
You don't
lot
want to
of
miss a
fun.
word of this. It's gold. It
Yeah,
is.
it's gold. It's pure gold. We have some great venues coming up as well, too, as well as
Yeah,
some
we do.
other
We do.
vendors, some fun things, you know.
All kidding aside, that yeah, we have some wonderful venues coming up, and for people who are kind of listening to this before they're engaged, or maybe they are and they haven't just done anything yet, we have some great venues coming up, and that's really the first step. So that'll be fun. It'll
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah. So, well, happy Halloween, everyone.
Yeah, boo. Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by New Jersey wedding officiant Andrea Pertel, owner of For This Joyous Occasion Officiating Services.
And Celia Milton, owner of NJ Vows Now, also New Jersey wedding officiating services. We're up in North Jersey, and Andrea is down in Central and South Jersey. So together we cover the whole state, don't we?
Yes, yes.